What's up, guys? It's Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down one thing that I feel all wide receivers need to learn off the line of scrimmage against press to give them a faster and a more explosive press release. So I hope this video helps you guys out. I hope it teaches you a few new things just about how you guys can get more quickness and speed off that line. But also, fellas, if you're a wide receiver and you want to get some work in with us this offseason, we only have 2 more quarterback and wide receiver camp opportunities. We're going to be traveling out to Salt Lake City, Utah in about 2 weeks, and then we're coming out to Los Angeles, California to finish off our quarterback and wide receiver camp tour. So I'm sure you guys have heard about this, maybe seen some clips from it. And again, fellas, we would love to have some of our YouTube community out to these camps. We always feel that you guys are some of the best guys that attend because you obviously are up to speed with all the stuff that we teach. So we really appreciate the support. Check out that very first link below if you guys are interested. Let's get started with this video. So now, first things first here, to get more explosion off the line, we cannot just step to my release. So as a wide receiver, Diggs is going to be doing a double up release. So he's taking an outside release. So the double up release is essentially where you step in the direction that you are going first. So it's like a 1-2 or like an out-in release, some people might call it. So you would step with your left foot first and then your right foot to the inside. So it'd be a 1-2. Now, a lot of wide receivers, they'll do releases like this, but it's just flat out slow. And against a disciplined DB, that will not work, because you need to have some explosion off the line. They will literally come out of their stance flat-footed. They will step with the left foot, jab with the right foot, and this DB will get hands and not be threatened at all, because we need some speed and we need some quickness when going up against a talented DB. So what I would want to use is something called a gather step. Okay, so a gather step or a prep step is where you essentially step with this front foot, like it's kind of like a baby step, to give yourself some explosion and some push. Now, let's play this thing full speed. So Diggs does a great job of using that prep step to get that first explosion, or get that explosive first step, I should say, to get this DB to jump. Now, a lot of people criticize this. A lot of people say, well, if they see, myself working on this or somebody else, from afar, they go, oh, well, why are you teaching them to false step? This is not a false step. I want to make that very clear. When you have a DB who's off 10 to 12 yards and you do this and you have to get up into the route, then it's a false step because you don't need it. But against press, there's going to be some, there's going to be a disruption of timing with the QB anyways, because the DB's in press. You need to give him something to bite off the line. So when you take that prep step, it's not a real big step. It's just a little slight step, almost like backwards at a 45-degree angle. Now that step is used to push. It is used to push off of this cut to throw your hip and to step wide with this back foot. Because we know as a wide receiver, where's this DB supposed to be looking? He's supposed to be watching my hips, right? That's where he's going to be looking. He's trying to read my body language. So if I don't have any explosion and I'm not getting into his cushion to threaten him vertically, he will not move. He is just going to sit there. That is what he is taught to do. So that prep step is a great way for me to do that. Now, when you take that prep step, a lot of people will let that step get outside of their frame. They'll step like so, they'll do the prep step, but they'll step way far to the right. And that foot will be like outside of their shoulders. We don't want to do that because you can't push from that position. When you take that prep step, you need to be almost on your tippy toes, ball your foot, and it needs to be inside your frame. Because now when it's inside my frame and I have some quickness, I have some balance, I have some explosion, when I push off of that foot, it helps me with a more explosive step. Think of it like a pitcher in baseball. When he's on the mound and he's trying to throw a 100-mile-an-hour fastball, he's not in this really wide stance, comes set, and then just takes one little small step. He comes set, both of his feet are together, and he has that real long stride. I'm not saying you want to step way outside your frame, but we need to be able to have some kind of explosion to the step, and we have to threaten this DB vertical. And if I don't do that, if I don't get into his cushion, he will not move. And you see what that does to the second step as well. It helps us get a more explosive second step. We're stepping outside his frame. My upper body is moving. And this whole release, fellas, was set up by one little prep step or gather step, as some people like to call it. So, fellas, we need to have something like that in my tool belt to have explosion off the line. Now, this is not the only way to do it. There's another way that I think a lot of people are more comfortable with when it comes to getting that explosion, and it is called a kick step. So I'm going to play this thing full speed one more time, and then we will get to that kick step, which is the exact same thing. It's just maybe a little bit more comfortable way of doing things. So let's play it full speed. Great job by Diggs getting that explosive release all set up by that prep step. So now, what is a kick step? A kick step is with this back foot instead of the front foot. So personally, if I were to do this, and let's say I was doing a release, I would go all based off of the kick step. That's just what's more comfortable for myself. And I feel that a lot of wide receivers that I train, that I work with, that we have at our camps are a lot more comfortable with the kick step than the prep step. But if you're more comfortable with the prep step, that's completely fine. I'm just showing this to tell you that there's more than one way to do it, and it's more so based on comfort. A lot of people try to make the wide receiver position, oh, it's got to be this way, it has to be done a certain way. A lot of it's comfort based when it comes to press releases. Like if you're not comfortable with the release, I probably don't suggest that you use it because you want to be comfortable against press. You want to be relaxed, you want to be able to react, and you want to be able to move fast. And if I'm not comfortable, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm going to be tense. So this is just another way to do it. So Amari Cooper does this kick step right here to get him outside the DB's frame, to shoot wide, and to win on this slant. So we know when we have like inside shade coverage and I have to run a slant, where do you want to attack? You want to attack the outside shoulder of the DB. Now, obviously, if I come off the line and I attack his outside shoulder, but I just take like choppy steps, like I just give him like a quick like 3-step release, but it's very choppy, I'm not going anywhere, this DB is just going to sit to the inside. To get him to move, to get him to open up the gate and commit to the fade, which is ultimately what we want to sell, because that's why we would attack the outside shoulder in the first place, I need some explosion there, and I need to be able to actually get my body to there. So when you take this kick step with that back foot, I don't maybe know, like the way I think of it is like you're loading your hips up to explode, but there's just something about you having that foot behind you that allows you to shoot out wide. There's just something about it. It's hard to explain, but when you kick that foot behind you, both of your feet are inside of your frame, your hips are loaded up. So when you go to push off of that back step, like when you push off of it, it really gives you an explosive first step. Your body is moving with the cut because essentially when you load your hips up, your hip is attached to your foot. So that kick step is just a way to give you that like almost springboard, like a trampoline almost, to get you to attack the outside shoulder of this DB, because you see how much Cooper is attacking his cushion here, how much he's actually attacking his outside shoulder and threatening vertical. So many wide receiver coaches, I can't stand this because you see where Cooper started. He's all the way to the inside and he ends up at the top of the 0 on the 50. Like that's a 45-degree angle. That's how you threaten a DB vertically. So many wide receiver coaches, you see them teach all this crap, all this movement behind the line, and they're doing all this like weird shoulder and head movement. Number one, a DB is not even supposed to be looking there. He's supposed to be looking at your hips. And a DB is not going to move if you don't threaten him. A disciplined guy, a crappy DB, I could care less about. We will work that guy 10 times out of 10. I'm not even worried about it. But a talented guy who has discipline and he's technically sound, he will not move unless you force him to move. So we have to make him move. And that kick step, that prep step is a great way to get your body attached with the foot and actually get you off of that platform, if you will, on the line of scrimmage to threaten a DB. Whether you're going maybe back inside, whether you're going outside, you have to force the DB to move. And that kick step or prep step is a great way to have the explosiveness to do so. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Cooper using that kick step to threaten that DB's outside shoulder to get him to move. All right, fellas, again, if you guys want a more explosive release, if you guys want to be faster off the line, kick step or prep step is definitely the way to go, because you can't just come out of a flat-footed stance. You have to have some quickness and you have to have some speed to force that DB off his platform. All right, fellas, again, if you want to come get some work in with us, we are traveling out to 2 more states. We're coming out to Salt Lake City, Utah, and Los Angeles, California. So again, very first link below if you want some more information on that. I'll see you guys next time.